Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller. As chair of the board, I welcome you to this virtual October 19th, 2021 regular meeting of the Washout County Board of Road Commissioners. Our communications manager, Emily Kaiser, will now describe how our virtual meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Emily.
Thanks, Commissioner. If you would like to make public comment during the public comment portion of this meeting, we will provide instructions and prompt you at the appropriate time in the agenda to virtually raise your hand. This can be done through your computer or your touch-tone phone. The chat feature on this Zoom meeting is available only as technical support for users on their computer or smartphone. If you're experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, please submit a comment in the chat feature and I will help you troubleshoot. If you are a commissioner or a staff member experiencing issues, please contact the IT help desk and they will assist you. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded. A link to the video will be posted to wcroads.org in the next day or two. Today's meeting agenda is posted on wcroads.org as well, and there's a link available in the chat if you're joining us from your computer. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you, Emily. I will now call this meeting to order, and if you would please call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present, participating remotely from Scioto Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present, I'm participating virtually from Superior Township, Washout County, Michigan.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller is present and is participating remotely from Scioto Township in Washtenaw County in the state of Michigan.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Good afternoon. This is Gloria Yamas participating from Pittsfield Township in Washtenaw County in the state of Michigan.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present. I'm participating remotely from Ypsilanti Township, Washtenaw County.
Managing Director Cheryl Siddle.
Present.
County Highway Engineer Matt McDonald.
Present.
Director of Operations Jim Harmon.
Present.
Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, I would like us to observe a moment of silence for the Americans and Michiganders who have perished because of the COVID-19 virus and now the Delta variant of that disease. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes as presented.
The agenda, please.
Of the agenda. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Yamas and Commissioner Green. Any changes to the agenda? Additions, deletions? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021, appearing on pages 3 through 11 of the board packet.
Madam Chair, I would like to motion to accept the minutes from pages 3 to 11
Of the board meeting?
of the board meeting minutes of October 5th.
Thank you. Is there a second?
There
Second.
is.
Thank you. Commissioner Fuller or Commissioner Green, either one. Any changes, deletions to those minutes of the board meeting? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to accept the closed session minutes of October 5th, 2021. Those were provided to the board members separately. May I have a motion?
You do. I will move that we approve the minutes of the closed session of October the 5th, 2021 as presented.
A
Support.
second.
Thank you. Any changes to those closed session minutes that anyone noted? Hearing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on our agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Emily will now explain how people can participate in the public comment portion of this meeting. Emily.
Thanks, Commissioner. So if you're viewing the meeting on your computer, you want to first make sure to click Join Audio, and then you can raise your hand by clicking the Participants or Reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the Raise Hand button. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9 at this time. I will unmute participants with a raised hand one at a time. I will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. Okay, it looks like we do have a hand raised. Let's see. Trustee McGill, you should be able to unmute yourself at this point. There you go. Go ahead.
Got it. Yay. Good afternoon, board. My name is Rhonda McGill. I am a trustee on the Superior Township Board of Trustees. And I wanted to come, and my address, by the way, is 8454 Barrington Drive, Superior Township. I wanted to come before the board because in our board meetings, we've had several of our residents come in to discuss an issue that has been one that we now feel is of health and safety, and that is within the streets of Stevens Drive, Heather Drive, and MacArthur. And what is being experienced is a lot of vehicles going through at a high rate of speed. There has been 3 children hit by cars. There are apparently some issues with, there's been a few police chases, and this Stevens Drive in particular is being used as a cut through. And one of our residents recently had a car jump the curb and almost landed in her garage and hit her and her 2-year-old granddaughter. We have had probably for the last 3 months at least, residents coming and expressing some serious concerns around this. And as a trustee and someone who's concerned about our residents, I wanted to make sure that I brought it before you because I do understand that there is a process with the board, with the way that the road commission operates, but I feel like this is a little bit more of an intense issue, and I would hate to see someone killed as a result of some of the things that are going on, and the residents are begging for some type of a speed bump. They understand that with the snow plows and things like that, that can be a complicated thing, but they are very concerned about just the health and safety in their neighborhood. So I wanted to just bring that one before you. The second issue that I want to bring and raise up, and I have been following it, but it doesn't have a closure, is with regards to the Gettys Road construction and what the road commission anticipates will be the completion date. It just says August 9th through October, but it doesn't say when. And we are experiencing, residents are experiencing a lot of traffic issues along Clark Road to just trying to get kids to and from school. Lots of our children that go to the South Point Scholars Charter Academy, including my daughter, we're experiencing really, really rough mornings because of this. And just want to know if there's any updates, because I did not see one in the last couple of weeks with regards to when the roads will be open. And now we have constituents that are asking that question. Thank you for giving me this time, and I am all set. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee McGill. The next hand I see raised is Joe Pattinson.
Yep, so you should be able to unmute yourself now. Yep, go ahead. Joe, if you're talking, we can't hear you, but you are unmuted on my screen. Can you?
I'm unmuted here. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
we can. Yep, go ahead with your comments.
Okay, thank you. I find it very difficult to get to the link for the board meetings on the Washtenaw County Road Commission website. I would suggest putting a link to these board meetings on the homepage of the website. It's very difficult to find navigating through the pages and pages of other menus. So please put a link on the front page of the website, and that'll help us all join you more easily. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pattinson. Other hands raised, Emily, that you can see that I'm not.
At this time, there are no other raised hands.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is written communications. Pages 12 through 13 of our packet. Commissioners, do you have anything you want to remark about or draw our attention to? Okay, we will move on to the next item, which is the commissioner and staff follow-up to public comment. Commissioners, staff, do you have responses to what you've heard today from our two public members? Who would like to speak to Trustee McGill's concern about traffic calming? I don't know who went first. Was it Commissioner Green?
Well,
Commissioner
my
Green.
question was whether, I think the issue is along MacArthur Boulevard, if I'm not incorrect, because I know that a lot of fast traffic does occur. I wasn't particularly sure that that was the street that was in question. Perhaps Ms. Siddall can help me with that.
I believe that Trustee McGill mentioned Stevens, Heather, and MacArthur as the three streets that were of most concern to her.
Right. Well, Stevens and Heather both run into MacArthur. So I was thinking the issue was on MacArthur Boulevard. I'm not sure.
All right. Cheryl, would you like to respond?
Sure. I was just going to offer that we take speeding traffic very seriously. And we do have a neighborhood traffic management program. So I would encourage anyone, whether it's the township or the residents along any of those roadways, to please reach out to us. They can always call our general line, which is 761-1500, or they can contact us through WCRC at wcroads.org. And we'll put them in the right hands of our traffic and safety folks that can explain what the program is, how that all works. It is a balancing act. I mean, obviously, like I said, we take the speeding very, very seriously, but we also take equally seriously the need to provide emergency services along those roadways. It's not just snow plows, it's also fire trucks, ambulances, and others that need to access that roadway. So what we put into place, we want to make sure works for all the residents regardless. So it's a good program. We're very proud of the program. We've worked very closely and very successfully with many neighborhoods in other communities, and we hope that we can do so with Superior Township as well. So certainly, and we can clarify which roads those are, whether it's I too wrote down Stevens, Heather, and MacArthur, if it's all three or if it's just one that we need to be looking at. But we'd be happy to provide that information to anyone that is interested.
Cheryl, is it reasonable for someone from our side to reach out to Trustee McGill just to explain how to proceed, please?
Sure, we would be happy to do that.
And Trustee McGill, if you would make sure we have your phone number and email address to help us do that, we would be grateful. That would move things along, please.
Commissioner Fuller, she did clarify in chat that it was the issue is also on Stevens Drive. And
Okay.
Trustee McGill, if you want to provide your contact information to me directly, you don't have to share it with everybody in the chat. I'll share that with our staff for us to follow up. We do have, and I'll share a link in our chat. We do have a good FAQ about our neighborhood traffic management program. I'll include that in the chat as well.
And just for everyone's information, FAQ is frequently asked questions. Any other comments or responses to Mr. Pattinson or Trustee McGill? Commissioner Yamas?
So as in regards to the ability and the ease of entering our commissioner meetings, I wonder if Emily could address that besides on their website. I know that it's available on Facebook. And not everybody has access to that, but maybe Emily could look into that or talk about other easy ways to enter.
Cheryl, would you like to respond to this since
Sure.
you're our lead person?
Yep, absolutely. We can certainly explore not only what we're currently doing with respect to pushing out the information and the links and the ability to join us. And we can also take a look. We've had this conversation before. Everyone, to have everything on the homepage can often complicate or actually make more confusing the homepage, but we can certainly, as part of our website audit, which we are routinely doing, we can look to make sure that we're navigating in the most friendly way possible. So we do want people to join our meetings. That is ultimately the goal. So certainly if there's a way to promote that better, we can take a look at that.
Cheryl, also, Trustee McGill asked about the Getty's Road construction. Will that be addressed under staff reports, or do you wish to address that now?
Yeah, I can certainly, Matt, if you've got a construction update right now on Getty's.
Sure. I was going to provide that under my report, but this will work nicely. I do have an update. We did pour curb over the weekend, so you can see a screenshot of it. So there's the current state of things. As of this morning, the road is working on aggregate base and paving is scheduled. I'd say we are on target for the end of the month. Obviously, a lot has to happen and we have to have good weather. But the anticipated completion date when we started this was the end of October. And I think we're trending towards that as long as the rain will stay away during these critical activities for paving and pavement marking. We've got guardrail to install, so there's a bunch of work to take place, but we're getting near the end of the finish line.
Thank you. Anything else before we move on? All right. Next item on our agenda is new business and the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 7? The materials appear on pages 15 through 18.
Madam Chair, I move adoption of the consent agenda as presented for items 1 through 7 as presented.
Support.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next on our agenda are reports. Do we have either of our county commissioners with us? I don't see Commissioner Sanders, and I don't believe Commissioner Schenk is available on these days.
That's what I see as well. We don't have either.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to road commissioner reports. Commissioner Yamas, if you would lead us off, please.
Good afternoon. So thank you. My reports are, I have been reviewing the legislative reports of 10-8 and 10-15, and if we've been following them about local federal aid buyout was approved by the Senate committee. And that is great news for us. CRA has backed those. On 10-8, the legislative update about SB 465, the codification on how federal aid buyout program would be implemented is also backed by CRA. So that I have been following those. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I would like to report on how efficient and well-run the Washout County Road Commission is. In this day where
Oh, no, you froze up on us, Commissioner. I don't know what we do. I want to tap the screen and make it
I can,
go.
Commissioner Fuller, I can contact the IT help desk and see if they can help Commissioner McCollum. If you want to, I'll let you know if we can get it worked out.
Okay, we'll circle back to Commissioner McCollum if we get her screen moving again. Commissioner Green?
Nothing to,
Thank you. Commissioner Doug Fuller?
No, thank you.
Okay. My report is simply that on October 13th, 2021, I participated in the Wednesday chat session. We did not have any visitors on that particular Wednesday. Joanne, are you back? Let's try this again. Commissioner McCollum.
Okay, so I was reading the vision of the Washout County Road Commission. It is, and this is found in the website under About, and you'll see the vision and other goals. And I think that's important about an organization, that you look at their vision, because then you get an idea of what they're doing or where they're going and where they've been. So it aspires to be a premier road maintenance and planning agency, providing a high quality system of roads and bridges through efficient maintenance, fiscal responsibility, and innovative planning and improvement strategies. We aspire to provide the highest quality service through an open and fair decision-making process to meet the needs of the traveling public in Washout County. We strive to enhance the quality of life in urban and rural communities by drawing on the expertise, creativity, and commitment of our staff and partners. We recognize that our success is dependent upon the collective talents of our staff and community resources to meet the challenges. We commit to attracting the best and brightest workforce, strengthening their skills, and promoting and rewarding excellence, while nurturing diversity and encouraging innovation. And I found this true to be of the Road Commission. They are following their vision, and I am thankful to serve on this board. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's everybody. Let's move on to our managing director and her staff reports, please, appearing on beginning on page 45, running through page 60 of the packet. Cheryl?
All right. Well, certainly, we can start by, I'd be happy to entertain any questions that anyone may have on the various reports that staff provided. All right. Actually, quite a few of the things that I personally have been working on, we've already covered today. So I know that during the working session, we were talking about refreshing of the FOIA procedures and guidelines, and Aaron and Emily have been working very hard on that, preparing also for our hybrid board meetings come the first of the year. Not only Emily and Aaron with that, but including Chris has been a big asset. We'll continue to move forward with that. We're finishing up construction, which I know that both Jim and Matt will be touching on here shortly. And we're already starting to prepare for 22. So our fiscal year runs with the calendar year. So Dan is already started to look at our budget, both for the end of finalizing our 2021s, how we're going to come out at the end of this year, as well as our budget for fiscal year 22. And then finally, also looking at a schedule for this board. So looking at, not only for the board meetings themselves, but obviously for the working sessions, and make sure that we have interesting and timely topics for you throughout the year. So a lot of prep work already, and we haven't even finished. It's just October right now. So if you have questions for me, I'd be happy to turn it over to staff. Jim, if you want to kick us off in operations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to report that we are making tremendous progress in completing our project obligations for 2021. Rapidly approaching completion of our countywide resurfacing program, wrapping up a few residential streets. We have one county millage project remaining, Ellsworth Road between Lower Road and the roundabout at State Road. That getting underway here shortly. Residential streets, some paved approaches in partnership with townships. And at the same time, wrapping up our very robust limestone and gravel resurfacing program, working today on Waters Road in partnership with Lodi Township. We have a little bit of forestry work remaining, drainage work. The weather is cooperating at this moment, and we appreciate that. We are working to complete the fog sealing of our paved surfaces here at the main yard today in order to extend the life of the assets at our main yard. And, that's coming along nicely. Again, the weather's cooperating very well. We hope to have that done today, barring any equipment challenges that may present themselves. In addition, our buildings and grounds group continuing mowing countywide at all of our properties. They were able to repaint the canopy, the red surface of our canopy in front of our building, which had become quite faded. The paint was peeling, and they were able to repaint that, and it looks wonderful. They'll be putting large black numerals 555 on the front, consistent with what our neighbors have at the Western Service Center next door. So to make the address more visible to the public, visible from the street. So we're looking forward to completing that smaller project, but it's our front door. We want the building to be in good repair and presentable to the public. We want the public to see we're good stewards of these assets. We will be following up here soon with pavement marking for the surfaces here at the main yard, both for employee parking, equipment parking, and for the public out front. Making a few minor changes to the orientation of our handicap parking spaces out front. I'll let Matt report on some of the neat work that's forthcoming that your team's going to be doing out there. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have of me or of the operations department. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Matt, you're up next. Jim already softballed you, and thank you for providing us an update on Getty's Road. So we probably took half your report there.
No problem, and thank you. Yes, to continue on with the main yard here, we are doing sidewalk improvements. As part of our non-motorized budget, we are going to do some ADA upgrades to the parking lot and sidewalk facilities. We'll also be constructing sidewalk on the northern service drive, the north side of it, ultimately from the right of way where the zebra road sidewalk currently exists. We're going to be bringing them into the building via sidewalk and have a couple of crossings there of our driveways. So that will be a nice improvement to go along with the parking lot improvements as well. So a lot of refreshing and improvements going on. As far as projects go, I mentioned the Getty's Road Bridge project. End of the month is our schedule. We were delayed slightly with all the rain the last couple of weeks, but feel like that's a realistic target is the end of the month. Certainly, as things progress, we'll provide updates, and we'll work with Emily to get those project updates out as well. Certainly be reaching out to Superior Township to talk with them and residents about the neighborhood traffic calming program. I know Brent Schlack has already placed a call to Supervisor Schwartz over at Superior Township. So certainly we'll reach out, let them know that that program exists and how we can get them more information on it and get them started on that evaluation process, because it is an evaluation process of what's out there, what the issues are, what issues exist, collecting data, and then figuring out what is an appropriate solution. A lot of times it ends up being speed humps, and then having the appropriate sign off from residents for those speed humps, and then agreements with the township to construct those. We are preparing for next year. Two of the big projects Liberty at Zeeb Road is a roundabout, single lane roundabout that is going to be bid out again. Bids are being advertised and will be due, I believe, November 17th. So that will be forthcoming here. And then we're working to get good faith offers out for right-of-way acquisition for the Pontiac Trail and North Territorial Road roundabout project. So we have to obviously acquire what we need for that project. That will involve obviously some board action in the near future on various parcels and offers. So we'll keep you updated on that process. Once we are in possession of the necessary right-of-way, we'll get into an MDOT bid letting. We're hopeful of letting the project this February or March. With that, also just a note, we have a number of our projects, including the millage program, federal aid projects, up on our project page, our maps. There's a tab in 22 if you're interested in them. Obviously, we'll provide you with some maps as we go through the 2022 budgeting process, which is forthcoming here. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any. Okay.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. And last but never least is Dan.
Thank you, Cheryl. First of all, I want to thank the board for approving the waiver for our pension. If you recall, that's for Public Act 202, and I need a couple pieces of information. I'll submit all that to the state of Michigan, and hopefully they will accept it like they have the past few years. It's kind of nice to hear everybody talking about budgets 2021, 2022, which I still, it's hard for me to start thinking about 2022, but we certainly have to. So the first working session in November, we'll have two budgets for the board, year-end 2021, and then our initial 2022 budget, which will include all the projects that we're planning, millage projects and so on, federal aid. So looking forward to those discussions, and then ultimately we would have both of those budgets on the board agenda for the first meeting in December. And I believe we need to have a public hearing for the 2022 budget. That's something that's required by law. So again, looking forward to crunching all those numbers. I'll be meeting with the various departments in the next few weeks, and we'll be putting a budget together for the board. Also, we've been working with our permits department. There's been several outstanding accounts receivable invoices, and it's been a nice collaborative effort, and a lot of our utility companies and so on have been paying, which is great. So look forward to that ongoing process. And as far as IT is concerned, a lot of us have been receiving little notices that our Windows password is expiring. So make sure that you don't ignore those notices. You need to be in the office in order to change your password. So make sure you'll need to bring your laptop into the office. You can't do it via VPN. It could cause some syncing issues. So make sure if you do get that message, again, don't wait till the last minute, and make sure that you come into the administrative building here to reset that password. And certainly if there's any questions, of course, we have the IT help desk to help you. And also there are several projects, as been mentioned, that in particular, Chris has been working on, our assembly room and our board room as far as the upgrades. And those will be great once they're completed. But right now there's kind of a lot of work with all of those. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
All right, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. The last thing that I wanted to say before I hand it back over to our chair is just that Dan Troika has asked that whoever makes the motion to go into the closed session, if you could please include the case number, which is included on the agenda as part of that motion, he would appreciate that. So Commissioner Fuller, that's it on behalf of staff.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. I just want to acknowledge that it appears we have a member of the public with their hand raised. The public comment portion of our meeting has closed. So I regret that we won't be able to recognize and hear from you. Certainly would be happy to hear from you. If you can give us a call or send us an email or let us know how we can reach you if you have a concern.
Commissioner Fuller, we do have chat tomorrow at noon as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So Ms. Lewis, please pay close attention to our chat session. As our managing director has indicated, tomorrow from noon to 1 p.m. it's conducted this same way. So if you are available and can tune back in, you can have a whole hour instead of 3 minutes. So I apologize, but we need to adhere to our agenda as approved at the beginning of the meeting. At this time, I would entertain a motion for us to go into closed session to consider a proposed settlement agreement for Michalek and versus Martinez, case number 20-116-CH.
So moved.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. And I realize that I have failed to ask Emily to describe how this works so that members of the public understand that we go into closed session, but we will be back. Emily, are you still there? Can you speak to that, please?
I'm here. Yep. And just as a follow-up, the resident who had their hand raised, they're already registered for chat tomorrow. So they will be in chat tomorrow. Yep.
There you go.
So now that we're entering into closed session, if you are not a road commissioner or a designated staff member, I will now move you to the virtual waiting room and ask that if you're muted, if you could mute your mic, if anybody's unmuted right now, we're getting some background. But I will move you to the virtual waiting room. If you would like to be returned to the open session of the meeting once we've completed the closed session, please remain in the waiting room. I will readmit you once the closed session has been completed. So give me a second here to move those who need to be to the waiting room. And then if you want to rejoin, just stay in the waiting room. We'll add you back in after we return to open session. Okay, it looks like we're all back in and we are now back in our open session. So go ahead.
Thank you, Emily. I would entertain the motion as proposed by Mr. Troika. I can read it if that is the commissioner's preference.
Please.
All right. I move that upon the recommendation of the county highway engineer, the director of engineering, and concurrence of the managing director, and upon the recommendation of council, the board hereby authorizes staff and council to settle the lawsuit Michalek versus Martinez Hawkins and the Washout County Road Commission, case number 20-116-CH, by abandoning any claim to right-of-way in the areas labeled E, A, and B on the attached sketch, acquiring right-of-way for public road purposes in the area labeled C on the attached sketch, maintaining a 43-foot right-of-way for Glazer Road in the area identified on the sketch, and executing such documents as are necessary to accomplish these settlement terms, including a settlement agreement and consent judgment. A second, please.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The motion is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Troika.
Thank you.
Do you need anything further from us?
When you, if Emily or whoever's in charge could send me the signed resolution, I would appreciate that.
Certainly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Having no further business to come before the board, I just have a couple of points to make. On November 2nd at 9 a.m., we have a special closed session that will convene. It's a closed session. Let me reiterate that. It's a closed session on November 2nd at 9 a.m. Then at 1 o'clock that afternoon, November 2nd, we will convene our virtual regular board meeting. We have our regular Wednesday chat session tomorrow from noon to 1, staffed by Commissioner Roderick Green. And then on October 27th, as far as I know, again, it's Commissioner Rod Green for that. I would remind our board that we're going to have a busy meeting on December 7th. I know that's a month away, but just be aware we're going to have a lot of business to attend to. And I would appreciate receiving from any of you in the next couple of weeks any ideas or topics you would like us to incorporate into working session agendas. Commissioner Green.
Yes, just for clarification, the chat session for October 27th is going to be handled by Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Thank you. I will make a note. So you're just trading places.
Bingo.
All right. Anything else? With no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So
You
moved.
may.
We're
There
just
you go.
having too much fun. Let's keep going, right? Mr. Fuller, move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Lots of those. All right. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.
Thank you.